Welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. The show will begin momentarily.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. We choose to go to the moon.
Hello, welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky, the Dragonchain Update Show. This is episode DCC, that is 0xdc. It is the 221st episode, and reminder, nothing on the show is financial advice, and make sure you stay tuned after all the updates for the weekly AMA. So first up, let's go to Dragonchain Updates, and we had in the Super Happy Dragon Lucky, this show's last week's distribution, were created 508 lot NFTs for governance. There were 2 questions for 254 lot. The host received 127 lot, and Dragonchain received 127 lot. So these tokens are useful for governance on the show and helping us decide what to do with various things related to the communications. This week also in Dragonchain news, I am in Milan, and I am speaking at a customer event that there is a DEX and Look Lateral securities exchange, which is based in Switzerland. They're having an event here tonight, and we are essentially, the whole thing is, of course, built on Dragonchain, and we will be essentially talking about the system. It's great. There's going to be conversations about the usefulness, efficiency, and power of a hybrid blockchain, and about the history of Dragonchain and why all of this stuff matters, and the fact that they would not have been able to build what they built on any other blockchain. It would have been near to impossible, or at least in an operational practice, it would not scale to what is needed, and it probably costs too much to run. And given all of the other difficulties in the world, both with regulations and what is needed, I mean, the fact that this is a very, very financial focused platform, that they were able to do what was necessary to be in compliance, or to get all of their T's crossed and I's dotted, and not have to worry about intricacies with the blockchain. It was very organic. So it's a beautiful thing, and they've actually made a tremendous amount of progress, even in the past year, on some of the capabilities. They have some very unique IP that is built with liquidity pools. So if you can imagine a tokenized securities exchange that uses very advanced liquidity pools, and again, all built on Dragonchain. So we hope to have video to share from the event in the coming week. So I'll talk to the team about how, when we get that, where we put it. I assume it'll be in Den. We might show some of it on the show next week. Who knows? So stay tuned. Now we go to Den.social updates. So the October 2023 layer creation process, LCP layers are now live. The first by unique voter was the fair contests layer. The first by lore committed was quantum computers. In the runner-up option, the sandbox was created. So far, there have been 168 layers created within this LCP, within that process. And there have been over 260 million NFT lot tokens created and held in the creation of those layers. Also, coffee with Den. There was not a coffee with Den last night. Dave is still working out his new schedule. He's working on an evening project this week, so watch for an announcement in the next coffee with Den. And for DenDAO updates, this is the off week, so there's no DenDAO meeting today. Join us next week. It is regularly every other week at 1900 Eastern, 2300 UTC, and everyone is welcome to join. No need to turn your camera on. It's a meeting, it's not a show. Now we'll go to World Blockchain Roundtable updates. So in case you missed it, last week's episode was on quote unquote not financial advice. So go watch and share it. The more views it gets the first week, the more lot all of the participants will get. And episode 127 airs today at 1100 Eastern, 1500 UTC, and the topic is freestyle. Pretty much anything goes. So make sure you get in there and leave a blockchain-related question or subject to discuss, and vote on the questions or subjects that are already posted by others to help us sort which ones are most important. So all of that said, maybe go right now, like, comment, subscribe, and please share the show so that more people can get this information. So that's all the updates. Let's go now to the AMA. So every participant with a unique question, or every unique participant, every unique denizen that has a question that airs, top 3 will get lot from the Dragonchain layer. Multiple questions by the same denizens are credited for their top 1, and I reserve the right to revise and extend my remarks. So let's go straight to the questions. And first up is, I'm going to verify that I have the right ordering because I got refreshed on my screen. Dayrox, so the question, Joe, did you have a chance, have I had a chance to talk to John Deaton about the SEC case? So the Dragonchain SEC case. Yes, I have. So great question. I am for I am. Good morning, Joe. This image is from page 10 of the white paper. It states that 7.5% of the daily mining of 1,000 matter, or 75 matter, are for Den fees. It states the Den fee is mined for Den's operational function. This matter will be used to pay for general operations. Question, is this current percentage in the code? Yes, it is encoded, and it has been, I think, since mining started, right? Also, has there been a DenDAO vote to limit the use of those matter tokens? I do believe that there has not. It has been, in fact, it would probably be centered or focused on the opposite of that, we would probably vote on what it could be used for, because the only thing generally that has been used for to date that I recall, right, we have to go back further if we want to, is the boosted posts. So typically Den specific content that is produced by Den, the Den team has boosted those posts before. Also things like Boosted Friday, which isn't active right now, but these matter would be used for that. And it would be good, I would think, anything outside of that, especially anything outside the platform, I would expect that we would want to see a DenDAO vote, right? That it wouldn't or couldn't happen otherwise. So let's see here. I'll go past. Could they be, for example, cashed out for ETH for general expenses? Although it is very much a DenDAO question, so I can speak for myself that I would require a DenDAO vote if the team, the system wanted to do such a thing, right? And I would probably be maybe give a little foreshadowing for your other questions, but I would probably be against it as of right now for various reasons. So you say I would like Den to be transparent on this account or address. Can this be done? Transparency is critical for maintaining trust. So the first side of it would be part of the matter and part of the lore is in the multi-sig contract. So that is a known address. I do believe it's published, but we could potentially put it in the, maybe the FAQ, or we could put it in some of the documents that are available directly from the website. So you could go look at the multi-sig. We've already talked about opening up the multi-sig address to new signers. For example, when Dave moved, he had some downtime, and we had to orchestrate everything around that. It would be better if we had a few more signers. And you guys can tell me, I would assume that we would also want to have voting on those people who are doing that. We've essentially right now identified and asked a few people if they would be interested in taking part in that, just as a nomination process, essentially. So we probably should have DenDAO vote on various people being added and on the requirements. 3 out of 5, 4 out of 6, whatever it is, required signatures. So that's another thing. And then the secondary part, that the internal wallet, and I say internal, the Den wallet, that the same thing that you see in your account, where here's my matter here, but nobody on Ethereum can necessarily see that, that we probably should, and this is again a DenDAO question, should consider to add snapshot information of that Den wallet, which would include also matter, of course, lore. Definitely has lore in there, and definitely it has lot from a few of the reserved layers that were created early on. Like I think cryptocurrency is one, and various others. Of course, there's the Super Happy Dragon Lucky. This shows lot, which is in the Dragonchain layer, and all of the LCPs. So there's a part of the LCP process is that Den puts in 10,000 lore for every winning layer to essentially get 10,000 lot for it. And those were intended to help boost certain communities, right, in terms of attracting new people to come in as owners to govern that community. So there's a lot of that there. And I assume, maybe we could do a nightly or weekly or whatever makes sense snapshot of that info, which would be in an open report. It's all there with, whatever proof we decide. So let's see here. I think I answered that next paragraph. Then we go to next item regarding DEN's 7% fee and its usage. For example, if matter was cashed out on a DEX or somewhere to pay for DEN's ongoing upkeep support, new feature dev, and the monthly cost was, for example, 15,000. And I, by the way, think that's probably a higher than necessary cost to get started. But the price of matter would need to be 6 PTA per token. And that is assuming we are only using the tokens that were mined this month, right? Whereas I don't know what the balance is, but we have Den has a pretty reasonable balance. So we as in DenDAO effectively have a pretty reasonable balance of matter right now, which could offset some of the economics there. So while distributed projects that sell their token for ongoing upkeep do create sell pressure, again, not financial advice, should Den have 10,000 plus active daily active users, this isn't too far off. In other words, certainly feasible. I do agree. So I've been researching and plugging into a model to determine daily active users counts for budget cost coverage. That's awesome. This would put Den just at a $9 million market cap, which is very low, right? But it's much higher than it is right now. Yes. We've all seen coins and tokens with a higher market cap that has far less utility. I agree. So this market cap and this price point is attainable, in my opinion. I also agree. My calculations show that 10,000 daily active users should stimulate a price point that would be able to cover a proposed cost portion of the budget for maintenance, decentralization, and development, right? So my new mantra, 10,000 daily active denizens. I like it. 10,000 DAD, right? That we essentially, if we had enough people in, we could, of course, get a lot more attention. And I think a couple of items that should be included in that is I have discussed on the roundtable in the past, and I have discussed here in the past, the concept of behavior-based liquidity pools, or I don't know what the branded term is, but one way or another, that can help us a lot too, because essentially then we'll have a reputation just as much as you do, and that reputation could very much help us with some of the economic realities of how the tokens move and how they can be converted, right? So there's a lot of interesting stuff there that we could throw in. The other very important thing is the cost. I think your estimate is probably on the high end to get started. But another piece is open sourcing. That is to really push for new features. It would help us tremendously if it was open source. If we had full open source ability, and we do have a pathway there, and we do even have an intermediary stopgap that we can right now bring in a dev if there's interest. And for example, I've spoken recently with two separate people in DMs on in various ways, text and Twitter and whatever, where they were interested, not surprising, but questions surrounding the ability to have a private layer and have a mobile app that only hits that private layer. So essentially, it's almost like a Den white label, but where you have governance and you have behavior measure and things like this. So a lot of really interesting stuff that, Den probably, if we were to do that, we would work in that into this economic model as well, where you would be getting revenue from these groups that are, coming in and getting a really well thought out and maintainable community forum, right? So we could then compete very directly, even with some of the other aspects of stuff like Discord or other platforms. So anyway, very good. And then you have a note to include here's the calculation. So thanks a bunch. I am where I am. Very good stuff. That is all of the questions. So we have the two questions. Thank you. Thanks a bunch. Great questions. And we have no featured content this week. So let me double check. I'm going to check if I have any. Okay. Nothing in the comments, so we can get going. So in closing, make sure you get some Dragonchain and Den merch. at Dragonchain.store. Make sure, if at all possible, you are able to contribute to Dragonchain's legal fund at legalfund.dragonchain.com. And make sure you watch us again next week. I'll be back in the States. Super Happy Dragon Lucky, 10 a.m. Eastern, 1400 UTC. And make sure you watch the Roundtable, World Blockchain Roundtable, today at 1100 Eastern and 1500 UTC. Again, make sure you follow us, Dragonchain, Real Denizens, and Jojo Row on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Den.social. And that's it. So see you next week. Thanks.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. Adaptable approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.